BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Here's some frozen berries, a few walnuts.
We would all like some quick and simple ways to improve our health. But we're inundated with often conflicting advice. So, if you're going to try just one thing to improve your mental and physical well-being, what should it be? Maybe some green tea to boost your brain power. Or doing a plank to lower your blood pressure. How about some small acts of kindness to benefit your immune system? I'm Dr. Michael Mosley, and this is Just One Thing, where each episode will explore one thing you can start doing today to improve your health or life in ways you might not expect.
I have to confess I love snacking, and as my wife Claire, who's standing beside me, knows all too well...
Nodding,
exactly. There's something in front of me. If there's a packet of biscuits like this one...
I hear the rustling. It disappears.
You'll hear that sound, won't you?
Yeah.
So what do you think is a kind of healthy snack then?
I would just go for some apple and peanut butter.
Right, it doesn't sound quite as, as attractive as chocolate biscuit, but I'll just dispose of this now, shall I?
Yeah, I will dispose of that one.
OK, so apple and peanut butter it is. The thing is, changing how and when you snack can have a big effect on your health, from boosting your mood to improving your blood sugar levels. It also will help you lose weight. In fact, I managed to get rid of my type 2 diabetes 11 years ago by losing 10 kilos, and I've kept the weight off by changing what I eat, when I eat, and what I snack on. So how about switching it up and snacking smart? I'm speaking to Denise, a hotel housekeeping manager from Liverpool. Let's find out if this is just one thing she'd like to try.
Hello, Denise.
Hi, Michael.
Now tell me, are you a snacker?
I'm an awful snacker, yes. I do eat a lot of crisps and chocolates, ice cream, jelly beans, biscuits. When I'm rushing around in work, I just eat a lot of chocolate to keep me going and sweets.
What I'm going to ask you to do is quite tough at first, but it can make a really big difference to your health and to your energy levels. And the best bit is I am not going to ask you to stop snacking. Is that good news?
That's really good news.
So Denise, here's the challenge. You can keep snacking, but you have to avoid sugary, starchy, ultra-processed food. That means the chocolates, the biscuits, the crisps, and obviously the ice cream. Instead, what I want you to do is to eat small portions of unprocessed food that include healthy protein, fibre, and healthy oils. Now that means a handful of nuts, maybe some fruit, or both. You could try Greek yogurt with some nuts and berries in. So Denise, are you up for the challenge?
I'm up for this. I can do it. I can do it.
You can do it. I'm absolutely confident you can do it. I've asked Denise to switch her sugary treats for healthier options for the next week. And that's because cutting back or switching up those little snacks could lead to big benefits for your health and your well-being. So what exactly is a snack? It's basically any eating event between one of your main meals. So a snack is anything that isn't breakfast, lunch or dinner. Surveys have shown that over the last 40 years we have become snackaholics. We often have snacks on the go, and grabbing a cereal bar or packet of crisps is of course incredibly easy and often incredibly unhealthy. 3/4 of the snacks we consume here in the UK are heavily processed and high in refined carbohydrates, salt, fat and sugar. Not surprisingly, studies have shown that people who regularly snack on starchy foods like crisps tend to be heavier and die younger. But the good news is you don't have to give them up entirely. Cutting back on processed, starchy, sugary snacks and switching to healthier alternatives comes with a multitude of health benefits, including a lower risk of heart disease. And switching your snacks could also boost your mental health. One study of over 800 Brits found those who ate starchy processed snacks like crisps most days were far more likely to report symptoms of anxiety, stress and depression than those who didn't. By contrast, those who snacked on fruit were less likely to be depressed and more likely to report being in a good mood. To learn more about the science of snacking, I'll be talking to an expert about the latest research in a moment. But first, let's check in with Denise.
I'm 4 days into the challenge now. It has been a bit difficult, I'm not going to lie. The chocolate sponge biscuits are still there. I haven't opened them yet. I haven't had any crisps, which I'm really pleased with. So instead of grabbing for the packet of crisps or the jelly sweets or the hard-boiled sweets or the chocolate, I've been using sliced apple. So when I come in from work, I'll slice up some apple and leave it in the fridge. That's been helping me a lot. We've been having nuts as well. They've been really nice. I didn't know there was so many different types of nuts, to be honest with you. It's proven a challenge, but since doing this, I have noticed that I'm not feeling as sluggish. I'm going to bed and it is helping me sleep a little bit better. So fingers crossed, I'm still going to keep going with it.
I'm glad to hear Denise is healthily snacking her way through the challenge. We'll catch up with her at the end of the week. One thing that really interests me about snacking is it's not just what you eat, but when you eat that's important. And someone who's been investigating this and the science of snacking in general is Dr. Sarah Berry from the Department of Nutritional Sciences at King's College London. She's also chief scientist at Zoe. And she just completed a big study on snacking. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Mike. Good to be here.
Lovely to have you with us. Now, tell me a bit about snacking habits here in the UK.
Yeah, so we are a nation of snackers. 95% of people report that they snack. So anything that's eaten between breakfast, lunch and dinner, or even after dinner, we consider to be a snack. And what we know is that a whopping nearly quarter of our calories per day come from snacks in the UK.
Wow. Wow. I knew people snacked a lot. I didn't realise it was that much. And I gather you've done a snack study recently on 1,000 people in the UK. What was that one?
This is a study where we tried to answer these 3 key questions that we, until recently, didn't know about snacks, whether it's the timing of snacks, the quality of snacks, or the amount of snacking that we do that matters in terms of our health. And what we found was that it's all about the quality and the timing of the snacks. People that were snacking on unhealthy food had higher bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol. They tended to also have higher weight around the waist. And yet we found that people, even if they were snacking a lot, but they were on healthy foods, actually didn't have any of this increase in risk. And then interestingly, we also found that the time of day mattered. A shocking 30% of people were snacking after 9 o'clock in the evening. Even if it was on healthy snacks, you had a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. You had a higher baseline level of blood glucose. You had poorer insulin sensitivity and you had worse blood fat as well.
So poor quality snacks, I imagine that's what most Brits choose. And what sort of foods would those be?
So we know in the UK that on average, the snacks that we consume tend to be high in unhealthy nutrients, high in saturated fat, high in refined carbohydrates, high in sugar, and they tend to be low in fibre and low in healthy proteins. And the kind of foods that typically we snack on is confectionery, so biscuits, chocolates, cookies, cakes, and then also crisps as well.
So, Sarah, I believe you did an experiment on nuts and health, is that right?
Yeah, so we did a study a number of years ago where we wanted to look at the health effects of nuts when consumed as a snack. We recruited just over 100 people and we had half of these people consuming over a 6-week period, 20% of their energy intake from almond nuts. And we had the other half of the people consuming 20% of their energy intake from typical UK snacks. Nothing else in their diet was changing. Those people that were consuming the almond nuts had a really large reduction in LDL cholesterol, the bad type of cholesterol associated with increased risk of heart disease. But they also had a really big improvement in a measure of blood vessel function that actually translates to about a 30% reduction in cardiovascular disease. So that was quite big. And that was just by changing what people were snacking on.
And in terms of trying to persuade people to eat healthier snacks, what would they be and can you actually do it?
Snacking is something that actually we have a lot of control over. So it's a really great way to improve our health. And so we can do some really simple changes to incorporate healthy snacks in our diet. we can move away from having chocolates, crisps, cakes, for example, and have some really healthy snacks that are high in protein, low in sugar, low in refined carbohydrate, and full of healthy oils. So there's the really obvious ones like nuts, and, fruits and crudités and vegetables. But then I think there's less obvious ones that we could also incorporate into our diet, like a hard-boiled egg, Greek yogurt, kefir, throw in some nuts into that, for example, throw in some berries as well. And another one, cheese and some crackers. People often don't associate cheese as being something that could be a healthy snack. But as long as it's not in excess, cheese is another great example, I think, of a healthy snack.
I love it. It's very counterintuitive, isn't it? Some people would say, well, crackers are ultra-processed, therefore I should not be doing that. What would you say to that?
We are consuming too much ultra-processed food. However, I would say we also need to remember, look, food is there to be enjoyed. It's part of our culture. It's part of our social pleasure. And as long as you're not eating just those crackers all day long, every day, and if you're pairing it up with something like cheese, then you know that together it's a reasonably healthy snack, in my opinion.
You just made an excellent list of suggestions for things we should try. Are there sort of principles behind a healthy snack? How do you build a healthy snack?
I think we should use the same principles that we use for our main meals. Try and avoid heavily processed snacks that are high in sugar, that are high in refined carbohydrates, and low in all of these bioactives like polyphenols and fibres. So I think another way of thinking about it is, why don't you just build a mini healthy meal that has healthy oils, healthy protein, that's high in fibre and high in unprocessed ingredients.
I love that you don't have to stop snacking, as long as it's healthy and not too late at night. If you want to find out more about nuts and the benefits of not eating late at night, listen to our Just One Thing episodes on nuts and Change Your Meal Times, available on BBC Sounds. Now let's find out if Denise has managed to ditch her late night snacking habit. Is snacking smartly just one thing she'd like to carry on with?
So it's the end of the challenge now, and I've really threw myself into it. We don't have sweets in the house anymore. So working in a hotel, there is a lot of temptation. There's biscuits, chocolates, cakes, but I've been staying away from that, and I've been taking my own snacks in. I've been taking sliced carrots. I'm quite shocked, but it's so nice, and I don't feel as bloated, and I don't feel as guilty. I feel better in myself. So I'm really pleased, and I'm definitely going to keep this going. Plus it'll save me a fortune in the dentist.
I'm really pleased to hear Denise has managed to shake up her snacking. I have been switching my snacks for healthier options. Now I'm out and about today, so I'm going to mix up a little jar to snack on later. Here's some frozen berries, a few walnuts, and now I'm just scooping in some yogurt. And there you go. I shall enjoy that later. So why not give snacking smartly a go yourself? Your mood, waistline, and your heart will thank you for it.